Web scraping, as you know it, is dead, and it will never be the same. Just kidding, I mean the old way of web scraping is dead. In today's video I want to show you a new way, a more AI intelligent way about how you can scrape data from the web. And I'm really excited to show you this because the first time I encountered and tried this out on my own, I was blown away by what's capable of with this technology. And I want to show you just this JSON here. When I looking back over the time, I guess I needed a couple of days to come up with a script that fetches the information, maybe then also finding all the XPath CSS selectors, and then finally come to this result here. And here in our code base you won't find any CSS selector, nothing with finding any kind of elements or clicking, nothing. We just defined goal, what kind of data we want, and that's it. And I'm super excited to show you this. So before we dive into the code, we first need to understand the concepts of AI agents. So when you interact with a large language model or LLM, you typically have a specific goal in mind, whether it's conducting research, writing a script, and so on. LLM is a powerful tool, but it's passive. So what do I mean with this is you give it a prompt, then you get a response, you evaluate the response, maybe you craft the next prompt, and so on. So you're driving the process. You are also using tools. Maybe with the response of ChatGPT, you go making also some research on Google or use another tool to reach your goal. And basically you are a smart AI agent. This is the goal. So if we make the LLM goal-oriented and basically come up with a question, and when the LLM can answer the question by itself, an agent is born. So LLM is passive and an AI agent is active and goal-oriented. And here, now that we know what an AI agent is, let's have a look at a framework called CrewAI. It's a framework for orchestrating multiple AI agents. So as we know, we have the agents that are goal-oriented with a specific background in mind. Then these agents can use tools, for example, Selenium browser tool or file tool, CSV tool, and so on. You get the idea. Then we have a task. A task can override an agent tool with specific ones that should be used for that task. So we can also give or associate tools with these tasks. And a task is basically a job description, what needs to be done, and this can be done by one agent or multiple agents. And to orchestrate the whole goal achievement, we have a process, so where we then can pass in the context for multiple agents. So basically the process is to orchestrate the whole flow, and one piece of the whole flow is then the task executed by an agent. Let's get started. So fire up your favorite IDE. I'm here in VS Code and I'm making a new folder called AI Web Scrapers. Let's move into this folder. Nice. And now we need to create a virtual environment for the pip dependencies. And to be honest, I always forget it. And therefore I'm just asking here ChatGPT in my IDE. Yep. Thank you. And then we need to activate it with this command here with source. And we see we are now here in the virtual environment. Now we can install CrewAI. So with pip, install CrewAI. And now also install a bunch of tools that are useful. With pip install CrewAI tools. To ensure that everything was correctly installed, just type in CrewAI. And then we should get an output like this where we can see the options as well as the commands. And if you see something like this, we're good to go. Great, now we are using the CrewAI CLI to create a new crew. Therefore we type in CrewAI create crew and then the crew's name. Let's give this crew a name of wedding scrapers. So in our example, we will use a scraper that will extract information from wedding photographers. So wedding and we see a bunch of files are getting created for us. So let's have a look what's in there. Okay, let's have a look what's in our folder. So we have here a config folder, and there we have two YAML files where we define the agents and the task. And here, so we define the agents in the agents.yaml file, and we see that AI agent consists of the role, the goal, and the backstory. And here we have the researcher agent and the reporting analyst agent, and we can see topic senior data researcher. This is the role. The goal is uncover cutting edge developments in topic. So these are placeholders that are getting injected during runtime. In task, we have our job description. We have the job description here, the research task and the reporting task. This consists of the description, expected output, and the agent that is doing this. And again, here we also have our placeholders. Great. Here in the crew, we basically define our agents and tasks as code, and we are bringing together the config into the code by defining this attribute here, where the definition of the agent is, or the definition of the task is, by using config equals self.taskConfig, and for the agents config. And then here you see reporting analyst. If we search in the code base, you see this is the name of the agent. And then finally we create our whole crew here, where we return crew with our agents, the task, the process. So the process, we have different ones. We have sequential, hierarchically, and so on, but you can read the docs to get more information about the different process types. Great. And here in the main, we trigger kick off our crew with the inputs that we define. In this case, we have only one input attribute called topic. And again, this looks familiar to us because we have seen this in the agent as well in the task description. If I go here again to the agents YAML, you see this is the placeholder name, the same as the variable that we pass in. So if we would like to have another one called URL, then we could easily use this in our agents by specifying it in this way. Now that was a speedrun of the code base. I think the best thing that you can do is to spin up your own crew and get familiar with this concept. So what we will do now is I will copy over what I've done for the wedding scrapers and leave here and there some comments. So let's get started with the agents. I have two agents. We have the content scraper and the data structure. So the content scraper is responsible for scraping all the information about our wedding service provider from their official website, including the price range. The backstory is you are a skilled web scraper with expertise in extracting relevant information from various website structures. Your job is to collect comprehensive details about each wedding service provider from their official website and social media. You are exploring links and pages to gather as much information as possible. Make sure to find the price subpage, navigate to it to get the price packages and the description of what's offered within that package. Because what I've encountered that these photographers have packages and they are like structured from every website in different ways. And therefore I came up with this generic description here. And then we have the data structure. So the content scraper is responsible for extracting all this information, and the data structure is responsible to bringing it into a JSON format. So, and here we can basically say, so because here allow delegation, so this agent is not allowed to delegate his task back, but this agent is allowed to delegate his task to another agent, and this you can control with this flag here. So then we have the task. I have also two here. So this scrape provider details, the description here is for each provided URL in URL, so we are now familiar with this concept of the placeholders. Scrap the website to gather detailed information about the wedding service provider. Focus on extracting the following specific data points: full name, bio, description, type of the service, location where the photographer is, contact information, social media links, Instagram only, price range. Collect as much relevant data as possible, ensuring to capture all available information for each field. Try to find a price link, follow it to extract price information. Be aware of that the service providers are in Bavaria, so if you find locations outside of Bavaria, please ignore them. Expected output: raw scrap data for each service provider, including all available relevant information, blah blah. And then here the structure data task is: take the raw scrap data and structure it, and the expected output is a list of service provider details JSON objects. What is this service provider details? This is basically a Python class that we define later on, so that the task or the agent knows which attributes we exactly want, in which format we actually want to have this JSON. So this is pretty cool. So we have like a dizzy or fuzzy input basically, but we can define with this way a nice structured output that is consistent every time. Okay, so we are now here done with the agent and the task. Now we are going here to the crew to basically adjust the agent names and the task names. So therefore I will delete here the boilerplate code and paste in my stuff. We see some formatting. Format document with pen. Yes. Nice. Okay, we have our content scraper. Here we are getting the config, verbose, and memory true. So verbose is while the agent runs, all the outputs are getting generated in the terminal, and memory true, so that our scraper has a kind of memory what he has done in the past and don't make the same mistakes over and over again. And this is quite nice organized. In CrewAI, just specify memory equals true and that's it. Then you have a long term memory in place. Here we now connect the agent with the tool by just using this attribute tools equals, and then we have here an array where we can specify multiple tools. I'm only using one tool. This is called the scrape tool. Let's create the scrape tool. So above here, I create scrape tool equals selenium scraping tool, and this scraping tool we get from the CrewAI tools package. And from there you would also get the other tools, standard tools as well. So great. And now let's move to the data structure. Here the same, no tools. Then we have our task, scrape provider details task. Connected or get the information from the config. Great. And this is done by this agent here. And the task structure data task, again get the information from the config. This agent is responsible. Now we get, this comes the interesting part. Output JSON, service provider details, and the output file where we want to store it. So, and what we need to do here is basically to create our class. Let's do this. And I need to import a bunch of stuff here from Pydantic. Optional is missing. Where do we get optional? Some more types. Great. So we have here our service provider details that inherits from the base model. And in here we specify basically our JSON keys in this way. So we have then one JSON key, full name, this is a string, description string, type of service string, location is from type location. So in here we have another class, again, inherit from base model, city and the state. Contact information, again, this class here, phone, email, website, social media links. Then we have this class here, Instagram, optional, and the price packages, this is a string. So Pydantic, this helps us to bring, or basically with this approach, we can define the agents with a structured output. Great, and that's basically it for it. Of course, you already figured this out. We need to adjust the inputs, right? So we have here, can delete the topic, and we provide here an URLs. And this is, of course, an array. So we can provide here multiple links if we would like to. But I'm just using one link. And first, before we start, I want to show you the website of one photographer, Clarissa. Very nice website. And so here, for example, is her bio. We see where she is located and also her Instagram. And here we would also say in, where was it? Ah, yeah, here, the prices. I've chosen this website because it contains all the information in a nice way for our agent. I've tested it with other URLs as well, and it was not that good, but with this website, the agent was capable of extracting all attributes. Okay, are you excited? Because I am. I would say let's kick off the crew, but before, this is not for free, of course. We need to provide here our OpenAI API key. So provide it here, otherwise you would get an error straight away. I will set this API key and then I will start the crew. Okay, are you ready? So let's run our crew with poetry run wedding minus scrapers. Oh, yeah, of course, we need to first install all the dependencies. We need poetry therefore, so let's do this poetry install. Okay, and while this installs, I want to show you something that I'm working on the side. This is a side project, and I handpicked basically all the crews that I found out there on GitHub and made it in a nice visual way to explain what's going on there. For example, we have a trip planning crew here created by the founder of CrewAI, the details, how to install it, and also the input and the output that are getting generated. And you can also search for crews here. For example, if I would need something maybe for help with my study, I would get then here this study planner from this awesome developer, from Toby. And yeah, I'm basically linking here to the GitHubs and check it out. Handpicked CrewAI's projects for you. And our poetry is still installing. Great. Okay, finally, now we can run the crew again with poetry run wedding scrapers. So we see now here the output, the logs, starting the task for each provided URL, and the URL that we provided from Larissa, and what the agent needs to scrap, full name, view, blah blah blah. I will start by visiting the provided website URL and scraping the content of the website. The main goal is to find the following information. Action: read our website content. Here's the thought. From the website content, I can see the full name of the service provider is Larissa. She's specialized in emotional and authentic wedding photograph. The location is in Regensburg, Bavaria. I can also see her Instagram handle. And here, again, what we've discussed earlier, when an LLM comes up with a question and is able to answering itself, an agent is born. We can see it here live. There's a mention of price list, but I can't see I can see actual prices. I will need to explore the other pages of the website. So the agent is able to go from A to B, finding its own way to do this. And that's just like what makes it so powerful and so exciting. Okay, and now apparently our agent found the correct URL of the prices. And yeah, here she is explaining a little bit about how the prices are coming together in the different packages and so on. Yeah, starting from 1,500 euro, 600 euro for save the dates after wedding, blah blah blah. And now our data structure is coming into place. And here's the structured JSON array for the wedding service provider Larissa. Wow. And we see here the different price packages. This is so cool. Failed to convert text into JSON using raw output instead. Oh, why? Yeah, because we don't see our JSON here. Yeah, this is something I need to debug, but after all, I wanted to show you this cool capabilities of using AI agent to scrap information. And there are so many use cases. I think now when I see this, there are so many things that I would like to try out and scrap information. I hope it's the same for you. Thank you for watching. If this video was helpful for you, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.